Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cheryl and this is True Crime and Other Stuff. Thanks for being here where I like to bring you the facts about true crime, the missing, current events, or anything I find interesting or important. Well, first, we have updates on the Madeline Soto case. Let's take a look at this video.
Two memorials set up in honor of her, one outside of her Hunter Creek Middle School where she was a student, and the other near the wooded area in St. Cloud where her body was found. Channel 9's Daryl Matthews is live in St. Cloud. And Daryl, Madeline's story has touched just so many hearts of those people who didn't even know this little girl.
Yeah, Martha, you wouldn't even believe how many people have come out here just today. And we've seen people all day drop off bears, write handwritten letters, even bring some balloons out here, all paying their respects to Maddie. As you said, even those who didn't know her, they felt a connection through her story.
And I just come to keep her, her respect, because I got two granddaughters. And it just breaks my heart.
A drive along Hickory Tree Road in St. Cloud will lead you to a site filled with flowers and stuffed animals, all in memory of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
She was an angel, I think, to everybody, and that's why she's touching everybody's heart.
This is the second memorial set up for Maddie. The first is outside her school where we saw balloons, candles, and prayer. The Orange County School District says in part, counselors have been available at Hunters Creek Middle School since the disappearance of Madeline and will continue to as long as needed. Both memorials come after the teen's body was discovered Friday in a wooded area. Now just feet away from that site, a handwritten note reads, "Spread your wings and fly and rest easy."
It touched my heart. See, I'm very close to my kids, so I don't want my kids to ever go through this either.
Soto's body was discovered after Maddie's mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, was named the prime suspect in her disappearance Monday morning when he told law enforcement he dropped her off at school the day after they celebrated her 13th birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Stearns is currently in Osceola jail for sexual battery of a child. Stephen Torres didn't know Madeline personally, but says this teen's tragic story moved her to crochet this scarf as a gift.
And when I heard her story, I was like, no, I gotta come by and swing and make that for her.
Now, Stearns is currently still in Osceola jail. This is an ongoing investigation. Investigators say they are gathering evidence to build a case to charge for murder. We're live in St. Cloud. Daryl Matthews, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
You're learning new details on the case of Madeline Soto.
According to documents obtained by WESH 2, Soto's mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, was abusing her for nearly 2 years. WESH 2's Haley Grumblehome breaks down what they found and how a therapist says you can spot signs of abuse. Haley.
So while law enforcement had initially found evidence that Stearns had been abusing Madeline when she was 12, this latest arrest affidavit that we obtained breaks down how they were able to determine that the abuse went back even further. An arrest affidavit for Stefan Stearns says he allowed law enforcement to search his phone, but said he had accidentally done a factory reset on it the day Madeline disappeared. Despite the reset, investigators say they were able to get videos and images off of the phone, and metadata showed some of what they found was from August of 2022, when Madeline would have been 11.
Mr. Stearns is aware of what he's been arrested for.
Stearns is now in the Osceola County Jail being held on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. A therapist says it's important to talk to your kids about abuse, even if you think you don't need to.
Some family members or some parents feel they're doing everything that they can to protect their children, so it doesn't come to mind to even ask those questions.
Charlotte McCullough, a licensed marriage and family therapist, says there can be certain indicators that something can be happening with your child.
Specifically for sexual abuse, things like mistrust, things like not wanting to be alone with a certain person, things like knowing about sexual things that's inappropriate for their age.
She says indicators of emotional abuse can be depression, low self-esteem, and a lack of personal hygiene.
When your child shuts down or becomes withdrawn, that is the time to lean in, not from an aggressive perspective, but from a caring perspective, and just talking to them, normalizing talking to your teens about everything, including abuse.
Stearns is being held here at the Osceola County Jail on no bond for the charges he is facing. He has not been charged in connection with Madeline's death. If you know or suspect someone is being abused, we've posted information on the Florida Abuse Hotline on WESH.com. Live in Osceola County, Haley Krovelholm, WESH 2 News.
So thank you for being here. We have some important developments in this case that we want to share with our community. I wish we were here to tell you that we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's.
Well, that's old. They did find her, so we're going to move on to the next video.
Suspect in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto and the boyfriend of Madeline's mom is now facing 60 new charges. They aren't murder charges, but instead are the consequences of what was found on his phone. WESH News' Megan Mulatto joins us live from the Osceola County Jail where Stearns is being held. And Megan, these charges could put him away for life.
Yes, Stu, that's exactly right. So the charges vary from sexual battery on a child under 12 to lewd or lascivious molestation. Now, the state attorney's office says both of those are felonies. Both of them could lead to life in prison if convicted. While law enforcement agencies across Central Florida were investigating the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, detectives with the Kissimmee Police Department found pictures and videos on Stephen Stearns' phone, leading to his arrest just days after Madeline went missing on charges of sexual battery with a child, capital sexual battery, and possession of material depicting sexual performance by a child. This is video of Stearns being taken to the Osceola County Jail. That Friday, Madeline's body was found near Hickory Tree Road. Officials believe Stearns was spotted near the location earlier in the week, hours after surveillance video captured Madeline's body in Stearns' car. Now, the state attorney's office has filed 60 new charges against him, including 8 counts of sexual battery on a child under 12, 5 counts of sexual battery with a child 12 to 18, 7 counts of lewd or lascivious molestation, and 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images. In a statement, State Attorney Andrew Bain says the state attorney's office has been working closely with KPD and received evidence that gave us cause to file formal charges against Stearns. We appreciate the thoroughness and detailed attention of their investigation and will continue to work with our law enforcement partners to build a strong case against the defendant. We requested an interview with Kissimmee Police regarding these charges and the murder investigation. They declined and referred us to a statement from Chief Betty Holland that says in part, "With this being a complex case with many facets, our work is not done and we are continuing our investigation into the timeline leading up to Madeline's death." For now, Stearns is being held here at the Osceola County Jail on no bond. According to court documents, they show that he'll be back before a judge on April 2nd for his arraignment. For now, we're live in Osceola County. Megan Mulatto.
Yep, like I said before, the case that just keeps getting worse. Okay, now some update on the Delphi case. Woo, yay. Here we go.
His trial early, and it kicks in a brand new clock. The motion to begin his trial early, and it kicks in a brand new clock that starts ticking immediately. Richard Allen has been in prison for more than 16 months, charged with the murders of Delphi teenagers Abby Williams and Livy German. His attorneys believe Allen is innocent, so they want his trial to begin as soon as possible. That's why they filed this motion that requires the judge to set a speedy trial date. Once this motion is filed, state rules say a trial must be commenced no later than 70 calendar days from the date of the motion, unless there's a delay due to congestion of the court calendar or an emergency, or if the defendant is released from jail pending the start of the trial. Those delays are unlikely because Allen is charged with such serious crimes. And Special Judge Frances Gall has been granted permission to bring in other judges to hear her cases in Allen County so she can focus on the trial in Delphi. Defense attorney and legal analyst Katie Jackson Lindsay says moving the trial date up could really benefit Allen.
If we recall the narrative that we've heard pretty consistently from the defense team, it's that they don't believe that the state has the evidence to convict Richard Allen. They do not believe that he is the perpetrator of this crime. And so you certainly don't want to give them additional time to build a case against him if the case is not there already. I think it signals that this defense team is ready.
Right now, Allen's trial date is scheduled for October 15th. This motion means instead of a fall trial date, the Delphi murders trial will probably begin this spring. I'm Bob Siegel, 13 News.
In Delphi, Indiana, we have a new update on a motion filed Wednesday by the state to obtain Richard Allen's mental health records. Now, that motion has now been withdrawn. Allen is the man accused of murdering Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017. State prosecutors were seeking Allen's mental health records for the third time. They claimed they needed them to prepare for trial because it was obvious from defense filings that they plan to cite Allen's mental health as a way of explaining multiple alleged confessions made by him while behind bars. Now, in their motion filed yesterday, prosecutors stated in part, the defense has expressed concerns that Richard Allen is being treated unfairly or is being placed in conditions that resemble a prisoner of war. The state has filed a motion for leave in the past to obtain these records, and the defense objected to said motions. And in an exclusive interview back in January with Court TV's own senior documentary unit producer Barbara McDonald, Allen's former defense attorney, William Librato, said that Allen's living conditions were unlike anything that he's experienced.
We had visited him on several occasions, but, you know, driving 4 hours each way was difficult. And then at Wabash, they're not set up for visitation, so we were literally in a makeshift kitchen, and he was in a cell. We had to stand 6 feet back, and he's talking through the slot where they put the tray of food through. And that's not a very conducive way to have meaningful conversations with your client. I couldn't hand him documents. I couldn't have him sign documents. And, you know, I'm sure it was very difficult for him to see the videos we were showing him through that slot. So, you know, I'm not criticizing the Department of Corrections. I mean, they, for whatever reason, he was moved there. They're not set up for visitation, but you can't have a, I couldn't have been prepared for trial even in October if that was how all the visits were going to be conducted.
And you've handled death penalty cases. Have you ever had a pre-trial defendant treated the same way as Richard Allen?
Never. Never in my 25 years or Sremen's 25 years have we ever had a murder client held pre-trial in a maximum security facility and then was transferred from one maximum security facility to another. Never.
And in your motion to transfer, you guys described him as being treated like Hannibal Lecter.
Particularly in Westville, at least we were allowed to sit face to face across a table from him. But the way he was handcuffed and to his chest, I mean, it looked extraordinarily uncomfortable. I couldn't shake his hand. We couldn't have him sign anything. I visited clients in prison on several occasions. That was different than anything I've ever experienced before.
And the way his hands were shackled were similar to how we see him in court, right?
Yes,
Where
exactly
it's like the
way.
tops of the hands are touching.
Yes.
And it's way up high on his chest.
It's connected to a box on his chest. I've never seen that. I've never seen anyone confined in that manner before.
So why? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. He is 5'6", 120, 130 pounds. He is not a physical threat to anyone. From all accounts, he's been a model citizen because he's locked down 23 hours a day. We told the confinement officers that we wanted him unhandcuffed so we could shake his hand and maybe have him sign documents, and they weren't budging on that. And it was sad because Westville allows visits, so his wife could come see him, and they just set up a visit with his mom and dad. He was transferred to Wabash 2 days before that visit. No, I don't think one had anything to do with the other. I just think it was bad timing and a coincidence. But in Wabash, you're not allowed any visits. Obviously, attorney, but no family members.
Now, today's filing for the withdrawal states in part that the state was notified by the defense on March 7, 2024, via email addressed to the judge that the filing should have been sealed and that the state should not have been given access. This comes after a filing by Allen's defense team earlier this week, seeking a speedy trial. The defense is requesting a trial date within 70 days from March 6th per state statute. Allen's trial is currently set to begin on October 15th of this year. All right, let's bring back in our guest. Joining us to discuss, Deputy Chief of Investigations for Gwinnett County, Georgia, Curtis Clemens, and Deputy Public Defender for LA County, Philip Dubé. And Philip, I want to start with you because this was one of those.
Okay, which I recently just found out that the Delphi trial will start May 13th. Okay. This case I've been looking into a little bit. I just wanted to let's look at this video about this boy with autism that's missing.
Every lead, but still no signs of the Hendersonville teen. So last night, the community came together for a prayer vigil. Dozens of people showed up wearing masks, and crews have searched high and low and followed every lead, but still no signs of the Hendersonville teen. So last night, the community came together for a prayer vigil. Dozens of people showed up wearing green, Sebastian's favorite color.
Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, attended that candlelight vigil and for the first time spoke at length about his son's disappearance.
Nick is live from our 5 Alert Center this morning. And Nick, this is his first television interview, and it's with you.
That's right. You know, he's issued a few brief statements by phone, but the rest of the time he says he's been spent focusing on the search for his son, but now finally speaking out publicly on TV. 2 weeks after the teen disappeared, the father says he's not giving up hope.
I'm hoping he's still alive. You know, that's my main hope right now.
That is his focus. Seth Rogers wants to believe his son is still alive somewhere. He says he is in contact with law enforcement every single day, and like them, he says he is completely at a loss to explain exactly what happened to his son. It's a mystery. The working story, of course, is that Sebastian, who has autism, walked away from his Hendersonville home in the middle of the night, barefoot and alone. But Rogers says no. He says it makes absolutely no sense that search crews and bloodhounds have found no trace of the boy, and he says Sebastian was not the type of child who would just wander away like this on his own.
In order for him to actually do something that's out of the normal, something would have had to happen that he just felt that he couldn't deal with anymore.
What that is and how, no one really knows, and Seth Rogers can't explain that, but I can tell you he doesn't like to think that this is a possibility, but he does not rule out the chance that there is foul play involved in what happened to his son. He knows that if his son could, he would, and is very able. He knows how to work a phone and communicate. He would reach out to the father for help. I can tell you Seth went on to share a number of other new details, not only about the investigation, but personal details about his son, which may help in finding him. I'll have much more on this later this morning and tonight on News Channel 5 at 5 and 6.
Tonight, the parents of a missing teen in Sumner County described to us exclusively how they feel on day 8 of their son's disappearance. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marius Payton.
And I'm Lauren Lowry. Sebastian Rogers is 15. He was last seen by his parents on February 25th in Hendersonville. Sebastian has autism, and he's gone without his medication this whole time. And since then, authorities have searched by air, by foot, and on horseback.
Helicopters, drones, and dive teams have also been brought in to try to find him. Today, his parents spoke exclusively to our Holly Thompson.
She's live tonight in Sumner County. Holly, I imagine it was quite an emotional interview.
certainly was. It is hard for any of us to imagine the emotions that this family is going through right now. But we know one thing is certain. They remain positive. They are holding on to hope that their son Sabastan will return home safely.
Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's at.
Mom Katie broke down several times in our interview, but says her hope is strong that her son Sabastan will be found safe and return home.
He's going to walk through that door, and this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Stepdad Chris says it's been an emotional roller coaster that all started Sunday night, February 25th.
Pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom, I love you."
Katie says she went to wake up Sabastan around 6 a.m. Monday for school, and he was gone. Within minutes, Katie says she was on the phone with Chris, who was working out of town, and they quickly called 911.
And he's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means.
Katie and Chris say Sabastan is not on social media. While he loves to play Minecraft, they tell me he does not have any online capabilities. I asked if there was any reason he might want to leave.
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. He's, that morning he was laughing, he was joking.
It's as if Sabastan vanished. No sign of him on any video throughout the community. Thousands of miles logged by law enforcement, canines, helicopters, even dive teams, and no sign of him. Chris and Katie tell me they've been harassed, people pointing fingers at them.
You're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts.
Are you both in the clear?
I can tell you that Mom, myself, and the father have worked very fully and cooperatively with all agencies across the board. We have anything that they've wanted, we have provided.
What do you want to say to Sabastan? What do you want him to hear from you right now?
That we love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble.
Now, Katie did tell me that even though Sabastan does have autism, he is a smart teenager. He is highly functional. They say if you see him, say his name, say Sabastan, and he'll respond. He'll at least acknowledge you. And I can tell you, this is my home. This is my community. And the people here are strong. They say they will continue to search. They will continue to hope and continue to pray for Sabastan's safe return. And by the way, you can watch my full exclusive interview with Sabastan's parents on our WSMV4 app. Live here in Hendersonville, Holly Thompson, WSMV.
Sabastan's biological father.
Well, that's another sad case, and I just realized he went missing on my grandson's birthday, so that sucks. All right, that's all I have. So have a good evening and peace. Thanks for watching my videos.
Mother, and they had to tell her the very
knows what's going on. This is Cotton Mama. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already.